Hi. Welcome, everyone. Very happy to see all of you and to have you all for the last episode, the grand finale of Tuungane by Melanin Capital. I am Melanie Keita, the co-founder and the CEO of Melanin Capital, and this is my greatest pleasure to welcome all of you for that last event. I am joined by my co-founder, Ian Minjeri. Hi, Ian. And of course, also Evelyn, our online event manager. Good evening, Evelyn. Thank you for being with us. And today we are presenting our last project with two very inspiring entrepreneurs, Michael. Good evening, Michael. Thank you for joining us. And Daniel. Hi, Daniel. And they will be presenting their project to 4 investors that are coming from different parts of the world. And it is my greatest pleasure to welcome Jean-Christ. Good evening, Jean-Christ. Thank you for joining us. And Gerrad from London. Hi, Gerrad. Thank you for joining us for the second time. It's always amazing to see faces that we've seen before. And Zach from South Africa. Hi, Zach.
Hi, how you doing? Good to be here.
Good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And finally, Sannssi, fellow Frankfurter, or maybe in Berlin right now.
Hi. Yeah, greetings from Berlin. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you too. Thank you very much. So basically, we are all gathered today to see the last mile and the last step of the Tuungane program by Melanin Capital. Melanin Capital is a financial advisory firm and a collaborative platform that supports social impact entrepreneurs to get access to resources from Europe, and namely business partners, mentors, and investors. We have been now working heavily to provide education, advisory, and connection to 5 social impact entrepreneurs in Africa and 5 social impact entrepreneurs in Europe for them to build partnerships and present it to investors. And I will now allow my co-founder Ian to tell you more about the Tuungane project before we hear more about the pitch. Ian, welcome.
Thank you very much, Melanie. As Melanie has said, my name is Ian Minjeri, and I want to present to you about Tuungane program. Tuungane means let's unite in Kiswahili, which is a native language from the East African region and Kenya, where I'm from. In the last 3 months, we took all our projects. Through COVID, all of us were surprised, and we decided to then bring up this project. And we then took entrepreneurs from Africa and Europe, 5 from each of the countries, and we put them together towards them looking for new markets, technology, and also how they can assist each other. We then started the program with the legal partners. They then gave them legal advice on the legal curriculum, Africa Law Partners. We then did marketing with Bakery Berlin. We did technology with Apollo Creatives and finance with Melanie Keita. Lastly, project management by myself. They are now here to present to us the projects that they did. We started at first with healthcare in Kenya, which we did 3 weeks ago. We then did transportation in Ghana, sustainable transportation. We then moved to education in Zimbabwe, and today we have real estate in Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. I'm excited to present to you Michael. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Ian, for the introduction. I'm happy to be here.
And Michael, you are presenting today with Daniel. Daniel, thank you for joining us.
Is Daniel?
Great, yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Great. So now you have 15 minutes to present your project to the investors before we ask them for feedback and questions. So we'll allow you now to share your screen for the presentation and start your 15-minute pitch. Thank you very much, Daniel and Michael.
Okay.
We can see your screen. That's perfect.
Okay, Michael, do you want to start with an intro?
Yeah, absolutely, Donnie. I'll go for it. Hi, everyone. Thanks all of you for tuning in today. And thank you, Millennium Capture, for amazing program connecting the Africa and the African diaspora in Europe together. It's been a pleasure in this journey together with Seso Global. Seso Global is a platform that connects Africans in diaspora to invest in property back in their motherland. And we're very happy to be on this journey together with them in this partnership, where we play the payment facilitator for Africans in diaspora to invest back home in property. I will now hand over to Daniel, who will be presenting today. It's going to be two-way presenting. When it's time for me to come in, I will come in. So we're doing this together, as you can see, the spirit of Tuungane. Daniel, over back to you.
Great. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ian. And it's a pleasure to be here and present. My name is Daniel Block. I'm the CEO of Seso Global. And today we're going to do a presentation on the partnership we've done with Sendit.Money around buying a property back home. So really trying to create is enable a seamless process for diaspora to invest back home in property with trust. Oh, okay. So if we look at the issues, generally buying property in Africa can be costly and confusing. There's a lot of different stakeholders you'll need to deal with and a lot of places where things can go wrong. So you might need a lawyer to check on, is the title legitimate? Is the property legit? And can I register it? I might need an architect, a surveyor to go do updates to my property or check if the property is built correctly. And then if I'm going to pay, especially from diaspora, I might need to look at where am I going to get assistance with Forex? How am I going to do the remittances? And if we look at the volume of this market that's looking for remittances, that in 2018, remittances to Africa reached $45 billion per year. And a Commonwealth report said 30% of that was destined for real estate. So really, right now, there's a lot of stakeholders and a lot of issues where things could go wrong. What we're trying to do is create a seamless platform, a one-stop shop where this can all take place. So if we look at the solution and the partnership that we're building together, it's really around Sendit.Money for the diaspora market, where they can provide remittances, Forex, transactions, debit card services for those that have a bank account abroad, and then connect to Seso in the local market where we have a one-stop shop where we bring all the stakeholders of the real estate market together, so as the property developers, we onboard the law firms to do the title checks and verifications and registration, insurance, surveyors and valuers, and then banks for mortgage needs as well. So to tell you a bit about Seso Global, Seso is a web and mobile application that simplifies the property purchasing property. We sell verified properties and property-related services. So one of the keys with Seso is providing that one-stop shop for all your services when buying and investing in property. And one of the key aspects is that we do the full verification on the developers beforehand. So we ensure they have the proper title docs, the development is legitimate, the developer's company is registered correctly, and that the title registration and ownership at the end of the day will not be an issue. And when you go on to find the properties, we said, you can also find the service providers, the lawyers, and the banks to do that on the same platform. So there's a couple of key notes on where Seso's at right now. Seso is currently active with properties in Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. We have approximately 65 developers on the platform with over 7,000 properties total. And this year we've hit over $1 million in total transaction volume on properties and property-related services. So this is a bit of how Seso verifies the properties and kind of the services that we provide. And really, when we see one of the links is then enabling that seamless payments in from the diaspora. So Michael will take over of how that works.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And the way it works is very simple. As you all will agree with me, when sending money across border, there's still a lot of challenges for African diaspora today. You'll find that most of the platform that enable people to send money back into Africa, most of them don't literally cater for the problem that we faced. I'm a Nigerian. I live in the UK, so I face the challenges that most of you face when trying to make transaction back home. And you can see there's so many platforms that we have today in terms of competition, but most of them do not enable you to do kind of property investment back home. And that's the joy of this partnership that we've got with Seso Global. And as you can see, the way the platform works is very simple. It's just the way your bank works. It's a wallet-to-wallet system. And that wallet-to-wallet system enables you to create, to store money in that wallet. And it gives you a virtual card and a physical card. And what you can do within the platform as well in terms of investing in real estate on Seso Global platform is we can facilitate a direct debit for Seso Global in terms of you buying property or making payment to Seso Global. So we actually make our platform a very seamless platform for you. It's very simple. Onboarding process is just 4 steps. KYC is done. We take you through security and reliability, and then you have your wallet. You can load money into the wallet, and apart from using the wallet just to do transactions, you can also use the platform to do reverse remittance from Africa into Europe. So literally, this is like a one-stop wallet that you need for all your financial needs when you're traveling in Africa and Europe, back and forth. And we're very excited to be working this journey and for this partnership and for the future of African diaspora, making it easy for them to send money back home as ABC. Next slide, Hannah.
Okay, so I guess like something, when we look at when we looked at doing the partnership together, we want to touch on like why is it such a big opportunity and a big need as well for the solution. So if you look at Nigeria alone, there's an estimated 18 million housing unit shortage. So there's a demand for housing and definitely a lack of supply right now, and opportunity for development that end. It's estimated there's over $1 trillion of trapped capital in land across Africa. So that's land that cannot be bought, sold, or collateralized due to inefficient records or inability to transfer title. And if we look at the projections into the future, as we know, there's 1 billion people currently approximately in Africa with a population of 2.5% and a median age of 17. So housing demand and connecting the financial flows from the diaspora back home is only going to get more and more important. And if we look at, again, the volume, in Nigeria alone, $22 billion was remitted to Nigeria in 2018, and it's only growing each year. So I guess I'll touch on the Seso business model. So Seso, we're a transactional based company. So we take a transaction fee between 3 and 5% on the property and property services sold through the platform. So it's no cost for property developers to join. And then they only pay on success. We also have a CRM, a management solution for the developers to manage their documents, manage their leads, manage their marketing materials, and generate them through Seso. And we have a variable price depending on how many services you use and the number of times you use them on the portal. Over to Michael, yeah.
For investors in the call, I bet you'll be asking, how do this business make money? The way we make money, we're transactional-based revenue company, and also we save customers money. Our diasporas are using our platform. We save a huge amount of money by actually cutting down the cross-border exchange fees from 15 to 10% the Western Union we charge you today to 4.8% to 5.2% that TransferWise will charge you today to 1 to 3%. How would that make that possible? We make that possible because we actually controls both the demand and supply at the both end of the market. As you can rightly agree with me, you can use TransferWise to send money from UK into Nigeria, but you can't use TransferWise to send money from Nigeria into the UK. So we control the both aspects of the market in terms of inflow and outflow, and that's what we're able to beat down the price of that cross-border exchange fees. And for African users, they will be able to have a Visa card that is attached to their wallet, and that's the only card they need together with the wallet across the world when doing transactions. So in a nutshell, we make money through transactional base, and we make money by a bit of an FX markup when you make every transaction, as trust and transparency is very key in our ecosystem. Over to you, Daniel. All right, I'm still on it. In terms of our financial projection, as you can see, we're looking to break even in year 4. And for investors on the call, we in terms of exit, what exit looks like for us is year 5. We're looking in terms of acquisition for big companies like TransferWise. As you rightly see the templates in Nigeria with Paystack and Stripe, most Western companies will probably de-risk their investment by actually buying companies, indigenous companies like us in Africa once we reach the scale. Over to you, Daniel. That's interesting. So that's still me pitching. What we're asking for, £500,000, and this £500,000 is SEIS qualified. For UK investors on the call, the way in UK government is de-risking investment in early stage startup. And how do we spend the money? We're spending 50% on product development, 21% licensing, 80% on infrastructure, and 11% of operation. And let me reiterate, we already have the license we need to operate across Europe, and we already have the API that we need to do collection and disbursement in 10 African countries. But we are only focusing on UK and Nigeria as a starting country. And out of this £500,000 as well, we've received a soft commitment of £150,000 with a hard commitment of £75,000 from these rounds. And we'll be looking to have conversation with angel investors on the call. That will be great to be part of this journey. Over to you, Daniel.
Great, thanks, Michael. And to give it a couple key metrics on Seso, as we said, so we're currently live in the 3 markets. We have around 65 developers and 7,000 properties. We've generated approximately $200,000 over the past year, and we're looking to grow 5x yearly over the next few years with really the scale up of sales on properties as we grow like the volume, and then the sale on the CRM as we grow the developers. We raised a last round, 2 past rounds since 2017, so a total of $850,000. And we're looking to do a bridge round now of 500,000 US. And we raised the first 200,000, and that'll really be used to expand our sales team into the diaspora, increase the marketing spend to bring on more leads and more developers, and then increase our software development team. And you wanted to touch on that. Not only is this partnership and both companies, great business opportunities, so it's also a great social impact opportunity. And so we look at helping the countries both in Europe and UK and Africa meet the sustainable development goals, especially around sustainable cities, co-investment opportunities into real estate, and creating more data around the diaspora properties, and simplifying it. And one of the key focuses is really to, empower growth in the economies, that we work with through real estate, and especially, with the opportunity of taking, money from high interest or, low interest markets into those with high returns on the continent. So I think it's, both a great business opportunity and impactful venture as well. Look at what we see with the partnership next steps. We've launched now to offline transactions. So, we're going to be, pitching like today and having people who want to, do transfers, try out the beta, as especially, through the Sendit app as it's built. Q1 next year, we're going to be onboarding further property developers in Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa to scale out the solution. And Q2 next year, the Sendit platform will go live and can, build on the experience, of the initial leads. To scale up the solution. Oh, what happened there? Oh, sorry. Okay, quick one on the Seso team. We have a fantastic team together made up of the diverse group of engineers, technologists, those in real estate and in banking. I'm Daniel, as I said, I'm the CEO. We have Philip Jarman, our Chief Executive Officer, our COO, who's based in the UK, running our London sales office. Eugene, our Head of Engineering, based in Accra, with over 10 years experience in the technology world, building fintech solutions for Africa. And Kweku Essien, our VP of Partnerships, who has experience in PE and venture capital.
Thank you, Daniel. And for our team, as most investors will agree with me, when it comes to early stage investment, the team is very key. And myself, I'm a second-time founder with one exit. I was an active investor between 2015 to 18, so I know what it means to de-risk investment into a startup. And my first company worked with various governments across Africa, and I know the intricacies of doing business in that part of the world. My co-founder is Julie Handy. I met Julie, she was the operations manager here at Imperial College Innovation Hub, Central Working when it was open. That is where we met. And we've got Bowen Handy, who is the director of designs, one has been making the magic happen. Bowen has got 14 years of experience building scalable products that users love and building stickiness in terms of user interaction. And our CTOs work for the two biggest stock exchange in the world, London Stock Exchange and New York Stock Exchange, with 20 years of experience building cloud infrastructure in the financial service space. We believe that anyone can copy an idea. The key thing at this very early stage is execution. And we believe that we've put together a list team that will be to execute this project and this partnership.
Great, and to kick off the partnership, we're running a special offer on Seso on land parcels in Ghana and in Nigeria. And so if anyone on the call today would like to kind of come in and own a bit of land back in Ghana or Nigeria, we're giving the opportunity of a 20% discount on select lands in a brewery, Ghana, and in Abidjan in Lagos. So if you go onto either this link for the land in a brewery, I'll put a link in the group and put in the code in the comment of the forum, Tuungane. A member of the team will contact you and you're welcome for this discount. Just 20,000 Ghana cedis will own you a prime piece of land, less than 5,000 pounds, and can own your stake in the future development. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you very much, Daniel, and thank you very much, Michael, for this presentation. That was very inspiring and very interesting to see what you've been doing in the Tuungane program. Again, I would like to remind everyone in the crowd and the investors that the idea of Tuungane was to basically put those two companies together and see if there would be more traction that could be drawn from those collaborations in Europe and in Africa. And this is why today we're presenting two companies. And Seso on one side and Sendit on the other side. And we're curious to see what our investor panel is thinking about this collaboration and about each company individually. So we'll allow each of them to give a feedback and maybe also ask a few questions to clarify the model. We start with you, Gerrad, because as the president of the Diaspora Angel Network, you are ideally positioned to talk about the diaspora needs and the diaspora challenges, and what you think and what is your opinion on those kinds of projects that are trying to link the both continents to support the diaspora to invest in their home country. There is a financial angle of that project. There is a real estate angle here. So we'll be happy to hear more about what you think, and also what's your action in terms of investments through this investor network, if you want to touch on your activities through the Diaspora Angel Network. Over to you, Gerrad.
Thank you. Really appreciate. I mean, it's interesting listening. I'm always encouraged hearing, founders thinking of innovative ways to satisfy the diaspora, the challenges that the diaspora have. So it's quite good to hear you guys speak. As someone who is in the diaspora but heavily engaged with what's going on back home, looking at solutions, I look at it from two perspectives. The first one being the opportunity. There is a pain that I have, and you're trying to take that pain away. But anyone who's operated, on the continent would understand that each geographical jurisdiction has its own challenges innately within that space, whether it's political, whether it's judicial, regulatory, whatever. So the few questions that begin to pop out, but overall, I think you're meeting a really important need. Funnily, I am in the process of buying real estate, so yeah, just a bit too late for me because I put in an offer last week. But yeah, I'll definitely be on your website, having a look. But curious for me, Daniel, to understand, because one of the big issues the diasporans and even people on the ground have is the challenge of trust. being able to trust technology platforms to do what you say they'll do. So I'm sitting down here in London, I'm buying a property. I tell you what, my brother's been doing the runs for the last 3 weeks, going to see properties and speaking to people and doing the right due diligence. Now, this is someone who lives in Nigeria, having to do all that work. So you can imagine if I didn't have him and I'm trying to do the exact same thing, how are you going to be able to convince me that you've done that kind of work that my brother is literally doing, spending hours a day for 2 to 3 weeks, just making sure that the owners of the property are indeed who the owners are, basically trying to understand how do you source your property deals and how do you source them to ensure that they are actually authentic properties?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, great question. And yeah, wish we could have done this earlier we could help you find the property. The next one. So yeah, it's a key aspect. I think that definitely took a while to get things going for the company. So one of the key focuses, we only work with property developers. So we have an onboarding process. So most listing sites let anyone list as the model, and they can just pay to list, which ends up with a lot of fake listings. So we have a DD process that happens beforehand. So we check their CACs, their company registration docs. We check the title, we check the property itself, and we'll go out. So we do the verification, and that's also why we have the law firms on the platform. So say with your brother going to do the Lausa or to the registry, you can hire one of the lawyers and do a title search for as little as 50,000 naira, potentially less. So really we're trying to make it there so everyone can do that. The other aspect is that we save all the past reports as well. So as we grows into the future, we save past title verification reports, past building plan reports. And we've actually closed our first sale actually for an apartment in Ikoyi that was done fully virtual from a buyer in the UK. So if you look at his example, he hired a lawyer to do the DD, he did a virtual tour through us, and then he closed the sale. But I think one thing really for us is a big focus is then getting partnerships with groups in the diaspora like yourself, having like partners with groups like Michael who are going to be there full time, talking to people with churches, others. And so it can be a portal, we go there, but it's little by little to build the trust, but it's then for us, that's really where we try to set ourselves apart from other marketplaces, is having this verification process. Okay, good.
And just one more, and then I've got some questions for Sendit as well. Do you see the opportunity, because there's a lot of play on the diaspora, do you see the opportunity being the diaspora, or are you thinking to yourself, we are saturating the local, well, I wouldn't say saturating for what you're doing yet, but why are you looking to the diaspora? Why not saturate or maximize the local, the local customers first? Just curious to see why you've done that.
Yeah, so two thoughts there. So one, so we also we sell kind of a management portal to developers. I think the Diaspora was a way to get developers on very fast, to offer a neat solution, get people very interested. We partner with several influencers, YouTube influencers, American-based organizations. So we're able to get people on faster and run kind of these unique events, which I think got a lot of interest. So that was definitely key. We want to target the local market as well. Like we have open houses. And then also between the continents, so the recent purchases have been the Nigerian who bought in Ghana, a Zimbabwe American who bought in Ghana. So definitely see that there's opportunity as well. I think that people miss out on as well between Ghana and Nigeria, inter-African property sales. But I think for us, the Diaspora was a way to get things moving very fast, kind of give that sales pitch to the developers on board. And then we can kind of focus on a niche market. But long-term, we want to grow the sales, be the name brand. And then, be selling more like management tech to the developers, adding more tools in that regards to keep them hooked on the platform.
Okay, interesting. I'm conscious of time. I've got quite a few more questions. Very interesting idea, but I want to ask Michael some questions too. Michael, over to you for just briefly. I know, in fact, I declined investing in another startup that's doing something similar, well, something similar to the extent of remittances to Nigeria. And the big challenge for me then was I wasn't convinced that the founder, who is based in the UK, understood the innate challenges of that market locally. There's a reason why TransferWise can't charge you anything less than what they charge you today. And I'm curious to understand how you touched on it a bit, but if you could talk to more about how do you overcome that challenge? How are you able to beat them on price? What exactly is that unique selling point that makes you different from, there are quite a few of them doing that now, a few other applications doing that. What's your differentiator, your key differentiator?
The key differentiator for me is actually looking at my first company, which led us to Sendit.Money, was literally World Bank 1.2 billion project for Dama 2 project. I worked hand in hand with some couple of state governments in Nigeria, and that relationship is still there. So this is literally disbursing money to the issue of literally finding a way to send money across the border has always been a very key challenge, even to the level of United Nations. That was the first eye opener in terms of how we're going to solve this problem. And when you actually look into how I came to this space, I was an active investor between 2015 to 18, investing in blockchain solutions company. Because from that first exit, I realized a legacy company ain't going to solve African problem. That is fact. We have to look for other ways that we're going to solve that problem. The reason why the likes of TransferWise and Revolut are not going to go into Africa is what you've just touched upon. Number one, they lack the local understanding. The challenge is Africans still love to hold their cash. Cash is still king in Africa. The cashless economy is taking time to get there. And you can see companies like InterSwitch, which I have a very good relationship with. They're like mentors. And when the InterSwitch went into Nigeria, they want to go with this cashless Western solution. But they went back to drawing board and realized this is not going to work in Africa. So our unique selling point is actually the fact that you can have one single wallet, and that wallet enables you to send money from the UK into Nigeria and send money from Nigeria into the UK. And you will agree with me today, in Nigeria as we speak today, you can only send $200 maximum out of Nigeria, because 47 CBNs in Africa as we speak today are facing huge challenge when it comes to USD shortage. And this is no brainer. This is something that can be solved leveraging the likes of what the crown agent banks are doing here in the UK. So our unique selling proposition is our technology. So it's a wallet, and that wallet is actually migrating onto the blockchain. So you have a unique ID. So we minimize fraud. So it's about trust. So we minimize fraud. We give you one single wallet, and that wallet connects both the legacy and the future, which is decentralized financing. So you have one wallet that connects you to your Barclays Bank or Lloyds Bank, but also enables you don't have to worry about exchanging Naira when you live in Nigeria and traveling back to your family here in London. It's same wallet that it's literally what Revolut is doing in Europe, but taking what Revolut is doing in Europe into Africa and modernizing it to work for the African economy, back and forth from Africa into the diaspora.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. I've got a few other questions, but I know I'm conscious of time, so I'll let other people, and we can catch up afterwards.
I'll follow up with you, Gerrad. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gerrad, for those very important questions and for the entrepreneurs to respond on point. This is always a pleasure to have you here, to have your intervention. It's always a very high quality. Going now over to Jean-Christ. Jean-Christ, who is a very experienced investor also in the continent through your activities, investment activities with Southbridge Group, very famous in France, definitely, and also over the continent in Europe. But also you're here now on your personal basis as a passionate and in entrepreneurship in Africa, education also in general, and a fellow Ghanaian descent, if I understand well. So we're very happy to have your perspective also on the partnership of Sendit.Money and Seso Global, and what advice or questions you could also provide them given their presentation. Over to you, Jean-Christ.
Hello, thank you, Melanie. Thank you to the team of Seso and also Sendit. Yes, first of all, yeah, it's very interesting, and as my colleague, my investor colleague said before, this is a critical issue for all the diaspora. We all focus on, finding ways to invest in real estate in our home countries. But I have a couple of questions to be sure that I fully understand, the value proposition, because I'm very, very concerned about the value proposition, how you you differentiate yourselves from the competition. I will start maybe with Seso, because I think that there is a lot of players, trying to find solutions for real estate today for the diaspora, especially here in France. You have companies, for example, going on the ground in Africa, helping, the diaspora, being sure that the real estate project is well conducted, and they be sure that the money that they send to the on the ground are used for the projects, because most of the time you can have family there, but you are not sure that the family is really, putting the money in the project. But I understand what you're trying to do, but and therefore for me it's very important to see how what is the team, how is your team composed today, how many people you have in each of the countries that you're addressing.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the question. So I guess on the first side, what sets us apart is, we see we're the first, really one-stop platform. So there's people who do it one-off, maybe go find you one property. But, what we do in each of our markets, we bring in all of the services. So we have law firms locally, we have banks locally, we have architects, valuers, so anything you need for the project there. And what we provide to the developers is a management portal. So we generally target developers around 100 properties at least per developer. So that enables us to grow very fast. So, in a quick time, we went in a year and a half from like no properties to over 7,000. So it gives us that scale, and having the seamless, from the finding the property all the way to registration and then management on the developer side kind of gives us, I think a unique offering. When it comes to other marketplaces, most of these are not verified. So we kind of look at showing Seso is really, has this wide range of different types of properties that are verified. Currently, we have 15 people on the team. So it's 6 software developers based in Ghana and Nigeria. Then we have a sales team of 5. So we have them mostly based in Ghana, in Nigeria, and then 1 in London. And our executive team of 1 in the UK, myself in South Africa, and then 1 more head of sales in Ghana. So it's a packed team. What we're trying to do, to be honest, is focus less on move more of the physical sales from persons into the platform. So running more of our sales, of our ads management from our CRM solution, and sell that as a service to the developers and other agents. So really our scale up platform and concept is to offer Seso as a service to agents and other brokers, and they can use it to add more properties and continuously, grow it.
Okay, I see. But you say that you sold 7,000 properties?
No, on the platform, there's 7,000 properties available.
Okay, how much properties did you sell, and when did you start operating?
Yeah, so we've closed approximately, I guess, so we started, the platform went live at the end of 2019. We've closed approximately 7 sales, around $1 million worth of transactions. And then we've been able to generate approximately $130,000 through the software sales. So that's the people doing marketing through the CRM, that's licensing white label portals. So what we do is it's really a cyclical model. So we have developers who are using the management solution, reaping their properties on for as they get sales. We try to push more solutions to the developers on the management portal. So kind of have a dual business model with that.
Okay, so far, most of the money that you generated was from the software.
Yeah, like licensing the management portal and the and marketing through the portal. But we definitely see, I think COVID has slowed down that, and people are traveling and sales in that end. And sales is a long-term game. So we've seen a big pickup in November. I had 2 sales thus far this month, which is the most we've had per month. And so we expect more to keep growing. And, we're aiming for 5 sales per month in 2021.
Okay, and because $1 million in the in real estate is just not so big. I think you agree with me at the end of the day, because you're talking about you.
I guess yes, yeah. It's a start. You know, we get you got to start somewhere, and so we get approximately 5% of sales. So I think for an initial, you know, it was a good start. But of course, we want to hit, you know, tens of millions, you know, and that's like that's the aim. So the biggest thing now is building the brand and building trust. You know, we're able to sustain the company with developers and people paying for the tech solution on the B2B side. But the next step is really to grow this B2C angle. And that's why, you know, partnerships such as, you know, remittance companies and others for us is very important. Any channel that can bring in more sales, and we can focus on the verification and the management of the properties, you know, on ground.
Okay, so for the 1 million, it was 5 sales.
No, we took 5%. So yeah, we took 5% total. It was 7 sales.
Okay. Okay. And how do you see because I have, you know, I'm not very, you know, I don't fully understand how, you know, the partnership with Sendit, because at the end of the day, remittance, yes, is for real estate, but most of the time is money that you send, you know, small to build, you know, a kind of savings to invest in real estate. And if you are working with developers, I don't see how the partnership, you know, plug into your business model. Just maybe
I think. Yeah, well, I think with smaller funds, you know, the best is we sell lands as well. You can buy lands for as little as like, you know, $4,000 to $6,000. So we're pushing more land sales as well. So that's where I see more of this aspect coming in is on land sales. And you even look at most land sales will also do breakdowns over 12 months. So you're looking at less than $400 per month. So I do think there's a big opportunity in that, you know, and that there are, you know, more and more lands coming on. So that's where this will come in. And that's where even when we put it the offer we're going to be pushing out together will be, I think, smaller land deals. I think Michael would agree with that. Okay,
perfect. I think that time is limited, so I don't. Maybe I should move to send it. Thank you for these answers. I have more questions, but we can further discuss them later. But I think it's very important, you know, to explain to people that you are on the ground, because at the end of the day, real estate business is a person business. It's sure that you can do it online, but you really need to have people on the ground to, you know, to make your customers confident of what you can bring to them.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Michael.
Hi, Zachariah.
Yeah. The thing is that there's a lot of players, you know, coming, you know, into remittances, because I agree with you. There's a very, you know, tremendous opportunities in that space, and you have a lot of players coming in. And my first question is, how what makes you unique? Because I understand about the wallets and so on. Yeah, I agree with you, it's a key feature. But at the end of the day, players on the ground today are able just to replicate the wallet thing. And you have already some players that have this into their proposition. So how do you see, you know, what makes you unique, and how do you address competition?
In times of competition, I know every investor is asked that question, and I haven't been an investor in the past myself. I appreciate that question. Competition is something I don't have, and no company has power over competition. But what company has power over is how to execute on their roadmap. That's the key thing. And to us, it's also the deep into the market knowledge as well. So the number one thing for us is we knew the market is right. Africa is the next market after China. We knew that. Now, the next thing for us, and it was a very huge news when the Paystack news happened, but that actually validates what a lot of African entrepreneurs has been talking about. Because I can imagine when Paystack was in my shoe, when they started, a lot of people asked them, how are you going to deal with loads of competition out there? But the key thing for these guys is they saw the market, they were on ground, they understand the problem and how to maneuver their ways around the problem, like regulations, political instability, one politician waking up one day and closing up a whole venture. So there's a whole lot of risk that is associated with doing business in that part of the world. But having lived there, having exited the company in that market, and have a very good industry partnership and leverage in that part of the world, it's one unfair advantage in terms of solving that problem. Facing that problem myself on every day as well, you will agree with me, most diasporas will now have a huge WhatsApp group, which you now use to do a trade by barter in currency, and saying, we're sending money to Kenya, we're sending money to Nigeria, I need these pounds. And that's why we have all these WhatsApp group, we're very unregulated. And for the informal remittance space to be growing really higher than the formal remittance space, that says something, because I love data in terms of what is the satisfaction rate of average diaspora that is doing cross-border payment today. And that's where we comes in. So in terms of our unique selling proposition is the fact that we understand that market in and out. We understand the challenges of the problem that diasporas face today. And the one unique selling point for us as well is building that trust. So when you're sending money today, you can use TransferWise or Revolut, all these guys, all the existing competition to send money into Nigeria, but you can't use TransferWise to send money out of Nigeria or Kenya into the UK. Please go ahead.
Yeah, just sorry for interrupting, but did you have, a kind of market assessment of what does, transfer from Africa to Europe represent today? Because I have no information on that. I would be happy to have some,
Absolutely. In terms of data, we track 3 data metrics. We track Oxford University, interestingly, have what we call Oxford Migratory, which is updated last in 2017. There is World Bank. World Bank tracked the immigration and remittance, which was updated lately in 2019. The total entire remittance market for Africa, there are 3 key countries in Africa. Egypt is a lead, and that's $26.4 billion, followed by Nigeria, $22.4 billion, followed by Kenya, followed by Cameroon for one reason or the other. Cameroon, in terms of data points, kind of rise steadily in the last 2 years due to steady middle class growing really high in that part of the world. So when you look in terms of the volume, I think this is the conversation we're trying to have. It's not focusing on how much money is leaving. The media narration is always been Africans in diaspora sending money to their family back home. But when out in terms of the remittance leaving Africa into developed nation, that is a huge volume as well. It might not be as big as the money remittance leaving Europe into Africa, but when people hear the word Africa, the first thing that comes to their mind is poverty, lack of food. But excuse me, there's a lot of international students that travel from Africa today and study in Europe that does a lot of transaction waiting on their family to send them money. So what differentiates us? We give you one single wallet, and that wallet enables you to do both legs of remittance of cross-border payment. So one single wallet, and that wallet serves you when you're in Africa, serves you when you're in Europe, and every customer that comes into that platform is being KYC'd. And in the future, we'll see a lot of companies like Seso Global and a lot of marketplaces coming to us in terms of plugging into those diaspora network. And you will agree with me, one of the key success that made TransferWise a great, huge success that it is today is because the founders of TransferWise were immigrants. They understand the challenges the immigrant community faced within Europe, and they were able to passport that when they were developing their platform. And that is the key thing in terms of how their success of what it is today. Before TransferWise started, there's a huge amount of people out there doing micro remittance companies. There's a lot of them before TransferWise, but ability to execute, understanding of the market, and reliance of data is very key when building a company that will scale into a global unicorn.
Yes, I understand. And sorry for insisting on that. It's just because I have 2 or 3 friends of mine who are working today on, remittance, solutions. And this is why I think that is very important to be sure that we make you make the difference, and to to address the current and the future competition. And just maybe another question is, who are the people on your team fully dedicated to the project?
At the moment, we're 14 members. We've got 3 full-time members, and we have 1 part-time member. I've got myself, Julie Handy. I think she's in the call, but she'll be listening right now. And we've got Azan as well. Neil is working full-time as our CTO. Neil is worked for London Stock Exchange and New York Stock Exchange. He's worked for the 2 biggest stock exchanges in the world, because security and infrastructure is very key to what we're building. And we have Bowen as well. Bowen is working part-time at the moment. He's a UI UX designer. Bowen is work for the likes of Vodafone and B&Q here in the UK. So he understands what it means to build a product that consumer loves and build the stickiness in terms of scaling the product. So we are 4 team members at the moment, and we have 2 key advisors as well. And the one important thing to mention, because anyone from Oxford University might be watching the pitch as well, is to say big thank you to Oxford University. We're part of the entrepreneurship ecosystem through Lever Project in Oxford University. And we've just signed an open collaboration research with Oxford University as well just 2 weeks ago. And we have access to a lot of professionals within that whole network of Oxford University. And that's been very useful for us and will be useful as we scale as well.
Okay, perfect. Melanie, I think that I don't have time remaining.
Yes, no, but thank you very much for your question.
Yeah,
It
thank you very much.
I think it's very informative for everyone also to see how deep you have to go into your business model and your value proposition to convince investors. So thanks a lot, Jean-Christophe, for your intervention. And I will now finish with our fellow German colleague, Sannssi, Cissé, from the Green Tech Capital Foundation as the head of collaboration. Welcome, Sannssi. Thank you very much for being here as well. You are, so as I said, head of collaborations of Green Tech Capital Foundation, but also entrepreneur yourself. So you have this double casket today, and you, as a fellow diaspora, and you're also very interested into this topic and to tech platforms in general that are solving solutions in the African continent. So we're very happy to have you here and have your feedback on the Seso Global and Sendit partnership. Welcome, Sannssi.
Thank you, Melanie, for having me today. And yeah, exactly. It's for me, when I looked at all the cases, this was for me the most interesting case. So it's a pleasure for me to be here. And also from the perspective of self-interest in, does such a platform make sense for me as a fellow diasporan? And how could I or would I use it in the future? That's why I have a very special eye on what you're doing. And I really appreciated your presentations. And as the fellow friends who asked questions, I also have a few. I would start with Michael, if you allow. So there's this one question regarding the partnership between Seso and Sendit. And this is, at some point, I wasn't 100% sure how the partnership would look like. So would you ask customers to pay for the real estate through Sendit? Is that the integration? Is that the goal of what you want to do? And if yes, how are you imagining that? I'm trying to see from my perspective. And this would be to invest or to send such a high amount through an app would look to me, even though I'm quite adept when it comes to technology, would to me still feel a bit risky, even though it might not be, but it would feel a bit risky. So how do you foresee to change that perception for your customers or potential customers?
Oh, thank you very much, Sannssi, and good to have you here. So the best way to answer that really is as the investing in property and real estate kind of growing in Africa with African diaspora connecting back home, we'll begin to see further offerings like direct debit payment for mortgage and sort of people coming into that space. And that is when people begin to see the use cases of such partnership with Seso Global. Another thing as well, as you rightly mentioned, as more countries now get very stringent with KYC and AML, anti-money laundering, like UK, we just have a PDS2 license, which is a very huge thing in terms of open banking, trying to understand who sends what in terms of transactions. So most people will be sending money back home. A lot of people still do a lot of bypassing, using their churches and their various informal network to get money into their country. As government put more tighter regulation on doing cross-border payment, no one will be able to bypass the KYC, anti-money laundering, know your customers, source of funding. And what we're doing for this partnership is we're doing the heavy lifting for Seso Global in terms of they don't need to do KYC on their customer, because we've done KYC on those customers. We know who those customers are. We know their source of funding. What we're doing at that moment is facilitating that payment. In the future, a customer can instruct us and say, I actually want to use the wallet as an escrow. So it's building the economy of trust. So a customer could say, all right, I want to pay £1,000 or £2,000 to Seso Global based on this 1, 2, 3 milestone being achieved. And that money can stay in their wallet before we actually release that money to Seso Global. So there's a whole level of trust economy that can be explored and built as well. And you rightly mentioned one thing that was very key in our journey is how do people actually move money, let's say 10,000, 20,000 pounds via an app. What actually happened at the back end is when you're transacting within the within the wallet itself is an API economy. So we have a partner in Africa. They've done the heavy lifting in terms of compliance and everything. We've got that API built as we speak today. And we have a BIN sponsorship that covers us for the rest of Europe as we speak today. And that API has been built as well. What we do is we literally create a hub that aggregates those APIs. And when you look into what this is actually the secret sauce that makes TransferWise the biggest giant they have today. Money doesn't literally leave. When you send the money across Europe in TransferWise platform, money don't actually leave both countries. It's called swap model. The money actually stays in country. It's hard for any European players to replicate it in Africa. And that is the key unique proposition that we have. So when you're sending GBP from the UK into Nigeria, that GBP stays in the UK because there is inflow of capital coming from Nigeria as well into the UK. So there's a customer using sending the money wallet in Nigeria, that Naira stays in Nigeria. The customer using sending the money in the UK or Germany, that currencies, that euro and GBP stays in Europe. So money is not actually moving physically across border. Money we actually doing, what you're sending on that e-wallet is an e-value. And we actually set to that treasury balancing together with our partners. And that's what makes it very efficient, very cheap, and very scalable for us.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Thanks, Michael, for that response. I have another question that goes to another part or let's say application on how you can use your application. And this is the wallet. And what you emphasized was that the wallet, you can send money from Europe to Africa, but you can also send money from Africa to Europe. And what would be interesting to me, Michael, is according to your analysis, are those the same individuals who send money from Europe to Africa and to receive money from Africa to Europe? According just to my experience, and that I'm talking the circle of friends that I have in my own experience, you have individuals who either send money to their home country, but those mostly do not receive money. So I'm asking that question because you mentioned that as one of your USPs. And is it really the same people who would use both functionalities? And maybe you have made an analysis. I think so. And it would be interesting to learn about that.
That's an interesting one you've mentioned. So in terms of the, this is where it's always good to talk about a number because they built a perception for years for Africa and most emerging market as a desolate, poverty-stricken place. And it's part of actually changing that narration as well. So Nigerians living in the UK, we have registered Nigerians in the UK, talking numbers, over 222,000 Nigerians, South Africa being the highest in population in the UK. Nigerians living in the UK sends a whopping 22.4 billion GBP out of the UK. Interestingly, 11.2 billion comes back into UK from Nigeria. And who are the people sending this money? As diasporas are investing in real estate back home, so are high net worth individuals and middle class in Africa investing back in Europe in real estate as well. You have international students, and that's the reason why we've got the support of like Oxford University, because the international student, they face problem when they're actually collecting student tuition fees. Students always say, oh, I'm having to pay X amount of money on transaction fees. A very good, interesting one is in Nigeria. If anyone is coming to UK to study this year, if they're from Nigeria, they can only send $200 out of Nigeria due to dollar shortage as we speak. So there's there's also a massive traders in Africa as well that are buying goods in the UK and reselling back in their home country for premium. And you can see I've got people, over 10 people today that have contacted me looking to send money into China to buy goods and resell back in Nigeria because WeChat has blocked them. They can't send money. So there's a huge problem actually connecting the African economy to the rest of the world as well. Not just, the narration has always been diaspora sending money back home. Hey, Africans are not that poor as well. There is a huge amount of volume that is leaving Africa that is connecting to the rest of developed nation as well, in trade financing, in traders paying for goods to resell back home, international students, and people coming on holiday as well. Even after COVID, Nigerians and Kenyans spends a whopping 22 million pounds on quarterly basis just coming into the UK just for holiday.
Michael, thanks. And I get the point that, of course, you have the in and outflow from both continents. That's clear. What I've also seen a lot with students, especially what you mentioned. So I think it's a solution that is needed. My question rather goes in the direction of those individuals who sent money, let's say from UK to Nigeria. They would not be, according to what I've seen, would be the ones who then also receive money. So looking at one individual, so it would be the application, from how I see it, works both ways, but most individuals either send money or receive. That's at least how we saw it. And I was interested in, do you see it differently?
No, it is the same.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Michael. Then I have many questions, but also for the sake of time,
happy to follow up
okay,
after the event.
Sure, let's do that, Michael. And then Daniel, yeah, thanks, Michael. Thanks, Daniel, for your presentation. Was also very interested when it comes to the real estate. And I have basically two questions that are very interesting to me. And one is, how do you recruit in the diaspora? You mentioned that you have like one office in London, I think, right? And where you have one person working from there. And then how do you want to recruit your team? Because I saw that you want to build your team in Europe, your sales team, right? So how would you recruit those people? And how do you sales in general? So how do you attract customers and convince them of investing through your software, through your system?
Yeah, thank you. So that's definitely, I think, one of the biggest difficulties is to build trust, especially on a property, which is, a lot of people will be like the highest value purchase they might make in their life, or in a one-time, purchase, for most people. So we've tried different things. We started with social media ads, which definitely brings in leads, but more lower quality, or maybe it's harder to convince. So really the key focus lately has been working with influencers. So we work with, you can check out videos with Vanessa Canby, who's a YouTuber, a British Ghanaian. We work with a group called Tastemakers Africa, which is a group mostly of Americans and American-based, in global diaspora. So it's really then about, we've been doing events in London with FCMB UK, which is a Nigerian bank in the UK. So we really find the best ways to work with influencer networks and partner networks and offer them, it's a win-win partnership. So that's been the most key. And I think getting into up in these other places, we want to find, that's why we think this is a great program, like based in Germany, and kind of a new market for us, and learn from who are the influencers in those markets, how we could work together, and get referrals of who is currently in the diaspora market. One of our portal allows agents to more easily scale. So as we grow, we want to market directly towards also agents. We're talking to more property brokers who live in the diaspora and maybe sell property in America, but they're Nigerian. And so they look at opportunities of how can I get back in and become a broker. If I'm a broker in Europe or America, how can I also sell properties in Nigeria, in Ghana, in my home country? So we're also looking at those people who are brokers in their diaspora countries, to then how we can then enhance their market.
Okay, nice, cool, thanks. Then one thing, just an advice if I may give from living in the diaspora. A good channel, you mentioned it before, of course, churches, yeah? And then second, maybe using as multipliers also diaspora organizations. And there are, in the last years, there are more and more professionalized diaspora organizations that have emerged in several countries. I know that we very often look at UK and France when we think about the diaspora, but even in countries such as Germany, Spain, you have also diasporas that cannot be neglected. So working with those multipliers can, I think, be a big help in getting your product out there and also convincing people that this makes sense. And what is cool about those new diaspora networks is very often there are people who are like really innovative themselves. So they're not afraid of new solutions. Very often they're very young. So this can be something. And if you need any interest in Germany, I mean, of course, Melanie's here, but also I can help. I'm very happy to do that. Yeah. So that just
that'd be great. Yeah, I would really appreciate that. I think that would be real helpful. Thank you.
Sure, Daniel. And then I just have one more question, and I'm also looking at the time. I know we still have Zach, I think. And this is basically, when I understood right, and it's just a yes or no, you work with property developers. So the point in time at which I do the sale, is that when the property is already built or when it's being developed? So when would I buy the property or the apartment or whatever?
Either. We offer both. So, if you want fully built houses, you can get it fully built. We have off plan as well. We definitely find there's a difference. We have some, especially diaspora and local people, that say they don't want anything off plan. They don't trust that, the development will be finished on time. And there's horror stories of that. On the other hand, we build more trust, and this is kind of what Michael was talking about with the debit. I think, and also is a way that, another use case, that I was thinking of as well, is that a lot of people do like it off plan, and, so they can customize it at the end. And I just want to touch on one aspect we're really trying to build up, is that if you think about the continent, compared, say, Nigeria, Ghana, or throughout, Francophone countries as well, in Europe, there are, multi-billion-dollar property development companies, right, on the stock exchanges that are massive. What developer of this size has anyone heard of in Nigeria or Ghana or any of these countries? And, the issue that we definitely see is that there are amazing developers, amazing, building great projects, very innovative, amazing beach houses, great projects, but most of them have the same suspicions if they're 20 years experience as the guy who just started. So one thing we really want to see, long-term, is build trust, not only with Seso, but of developers, that they can become, these, nationwide or, region-wide, mega, players. So I think, that aspect is very key of how we grow that, how we help them scale as well. And then an aspect as well that more and more people are interested in, especially if you look in Ghana blowing up right now, are these self-service apartments where you can buy them. The developer will also be the manager, Airbnb, everything, partnerships with embassies. And that's another thing that people don't realize, as Michael was saying, that there's also money going out of the continent from rental rates. We have so many people looking for studio apartments, especially as the big need in Lagos, in the inner city. Accra, they're building a lot of studios right now. So you have more and more people that want to invest in a property for rental yields home, and then want to be able to send the money out, for the returns as well.
Right. All right, Daniel, thank you. Thank you so much. Michael, thanks for answering the questions. I'm very happy that you took the time tonight. Yeah, that's it for me, Melanie. So.
Thank you very much, Sannssi, and thank you very much, everyone. We're coming to the end of our show because, unfortunately, Zach had to excuse himself. He had a personal emergency, so we wish him all the best, and we'll take the discussion with him offline. But this is now the end of the Tuungane, the end of this episode, and we were very happy to finish on such a rich conversation. I will allow Ian to give in 1 minute the last words, and before we disconnect and say goodbye to everyone. Ian, welcome.
Thank you, Melanie. All I have to say is wow, wow, wow. It's been amazing. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been exciting to see all these different change makers building from Africa, Africans in diaspora, the Europeans also, what they're doing for Africa. It was just amazing to have this whole mix, public institutions, a whole different type of bringing ecosystems together. So I'm very excited and honored to have our speakers on board today, panelists, and the rest of the team. So this project, for example, I remember in the beginning, we had gotten Sendit on board, and they were like, they're interested in how they can then get this money from the diaspora back to our countries. I'm also in the diaspora. We are all trying to invest back home. Then we met Seso, who telling us about, all these investment opportunities back home. And they were like, we need to find a secure way to get this money across. And then we were like, you know what? Let's put this match together. So I'm excited to see it coming alive and that they're ready to work together going forward. To those watching our viewers, I hope the entrepreneurs are inspired, to continue and to fall within our vision of inspiring collaborations to change today the Africa that we want tomorrow, one entrepreneur at a time. To the investors, I hope you're also really motivated to come into Africa. You've seen that over the course of the weeks. We've got very many challenges. We've also got the solutions. Just invest in us. And I believe together we can all come together. Let's unite. Tuungane. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ian. And I will just end this episode by thanking again all our partners that have made this event possible. Green Tech Capital Foundation, obviously, Share Impact Capital, an initiative from the global shapers of the World Economic Forum, the Kenya Healthcare Federations, but also our experts, including Apollo Creative, Africa Law Partners, the Bakery Berlin, and all our team and supporters that have come with us along this journey. Thank you very much again to all our panelists for the time that they took today. We were delighted to have you all, and we hope to have you again for our next season of Tuungane next year, and to have you also in the tech platform that we're building to make collaborations easier and seamless in the future between African and European change makers. Thank you very much again, and of course, for all the entrepreneurs, corporates, and investors that are listening today. If you need any services from Melanin Capital in the education, advisory, and connection area, would be happy to support you. So just send a message at hello@melanincapital.com. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll close the live sessions, but please, panelists, stay with us just for a 5-minute goodbye offline. And but for all the audience, we were very happy to have you here and to have all your questions. We'll follow up via email if necessary. Thank you and good night for everyone. Bye-bye. Okay, we are not